trend I see is that we continue to be a terrible third quarter team to start. That was last year. That was the preseason. Got to rethink some things, and it's a two-way thing with the guys. What do they need at halftime to make sure they're ready to play? They're not ready to play to start the third quarter.
JJ, pregame you mentioned discipline as something that needs to be there, specifically when it came to playing their post splits. Just overall, in a macro sense, how would you assess the team's discipline tonight?
Pretty good, actually. Outside of a few buckets there in the third quarter, pretty good.
JJ, Luka's workload was so heavy. How do you try to get other guys to get more involved and help out with what you guys have going on out there?
Every game is different. I'm not concerned about that.
JJ, you talked about when it comes defensively about the level of connection and effort it's going to take from everybody. Where's the connection on the offensive end right now, and how much of sort of this being the early stages would you attribute the turnovers to, and guys just maybe not being in the right places or the places people expect?
Yeah, I think that's more it. Again, trying to throw a lob pass, put in a lob pass to DA, and it ends up being a turnover. I think that's going to happen to any team, to any two-man partnership, whether you've got continuity. That happens sometimes. I think it's mostly self-inflicted, and I think if you look at this game, like a microcosm of this game was we did enough good things to put ourselves in a position to win for most of the game, and that when we didn't do those things, they were self-inflicted.
You touched on
they were self-inflicted. So that's not being organized in early offense. That's having the wrong guy bring it up. That's we knew they were blitzing and stack. That's supposed to be stack 2. Guy stays. Now there's no outlet for the passer. Those are not sprinting back. We make a run. We got 2 guys back. Buddy Hield gets a wide open 3 for some reason on a full court pass. Those are self-inflicted things. So that's not anything Golden State did to us.
The pregame you mentioned kind of how the team has gone through this whole process without LeBron. Like camp has been without LeBron. You're going to solve these problems in the immediacy with the issues that are happening with this roster. At some point, you're going to get another huge piece back. Do you allow yourself any brain power thinking about how LeBron fits in with what this group is now, or can you not afford to do that?
It's hard to forget about LeBron. The reality is when you're focused on the group that you have, you got to make that group work. So it's sometimes you can just be like, oh my God, we're going to get LeBron back at some point. Like it's awesome, but you are focused. I'll be honest with you. I did have one moment in that first half when we had a few possessions, couldn't score against the zone. I'm like, it'd be great to have LeBron just to throw it to at the high post.
Just sort of look down at 40,000 points.
Yeah.
Can you kind of split the self-inflicted wounds that come from just we have better habits than this, we know how to play, versus these are the growing pains of some of the new pieces coming together and understanding the intricacies of the offense and understanding players' tendencies and what guys like, where they're going to be?
Sure. Yeah. I think there's a little bit of that. I think that, to me, that shows up more on defense. When, I said pregame, you got to be really disciplined. It's like the times, to Kobe's question, the times you make your own thing up. Steph Curry gets a back cut for a layup. Gary Payton slips and gets a dunk. We don't read a small pick and roll, and I wasn't on the floor. I don't know what the call is, and Jimmy turns the corner, they get a layup. So there's going to be growing pains with that, I think, early in the season, and hopefully it's not long. But it's more organization than it is like knowing guys' tendencies. I think that's where the offense struggles.
JJ, LeBron was so important for you guys, like defensively last year, just calling out plays, sort of quarterback and things. Who's stepping into that role, or at least I don't know if it's just you and Greg yelling all the time, or is it like who's on the court in that role?
Yeah, no, I think Da and Marcus have done a really nice job. Gabe, I know Luka and AR are being more vocal as well. But I would say right now it's Da, Marcus, Da, Marcus, and Gabe.
With the follow, what's the biggest change you guys felt, whether from your end or theirs?
We've just been bad third quarters. last couple of years for sure, but I think ever since I've been here, we've had a problem with third quarter. So just got to figure out a way to, come out with a little more energy. JJ was the first thing JJ talked about after was just figuring out a way to be better in the third quarter, and that's on us players. That's not on the coaches. They come in here and give us what we need to give us the answers to the test. My fault, and we just didn't go out and execute. So that's on us, and we have to be better.
Traditionally in a season, players are in and out and teams have to adjust, but you guys entered the season missing such a big piece in LeBron. How focus on the smaller fixes can you guys all have to be involved in, kind of understanding that things are gonna this team is gonna really change again in place at some point?
Yeah, I mean, my fault. I think when the goal is to win, it doesn't really roles and situations change. But at the end of the day, you've got to do what you think's best to help the team win. And I feel like that's what we did tonight. We came up short, but obviously when you're missing a guy like Brian, you're not going to feel that with one person. You have to try to feel that, I need to do something a little better. Luka needs to do something a little better. Rudy's got to pitch in a little more. You can't, like I said, you can't do what he does with one person. If I was LeBron James, I probably would have retired by now. But, he's one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. So you have to do it as a collective group.
You guys have had spurts in the preseason and even tonight where you look like a team that you have been trying to come together as, and the kind of the group that you want to look at. What does it take to turn that into longer stretches, and so you're, winning 36 out of 48 minutes, whatever, and putting it together?
I think it's time. We haven't had a lot of time together as a complete group. Obviously, we're still not complete, but we're just going to continue to build and get better and learn how to play alongside one another. I mean, I had 5 turnovers tonight, and I don't think a couple of them were just dumb, but a couple of them were just miscommunications on where I needed to throw a pass to DA. It wasn't the wrong read; it was the wrong pass at the right time, basically. So it's just learning those little things, and you learn those on the fly. You think about all the good teams that's in NBA history. All those teams kind of played together as a core for a long time and know how to play alongside one another. You look at them over there, Steph knows, or Draymond knows exactly where Steph wants it, vice versa. So just getting those reps together.
When you look at this game, obviously JJ mentioned the quarters, but do you think about the turnovers? Is it the slow 3-point shooting, the free throws? What's the thing that gnaws at you most?
All of it.
Those are 3 big ones.
What'd you say?
turnovers, and threes.
Yeah. If we do better in all those, we'll have a better chance of it. And I led the group tonight in turnovers, so point the finger at me.
What stood out the most to you on the court, just about the way the team was playing, kind of first real run through against an experienced team in Golden State that's pretty fluid together? Where do you guys need to get things cleaned up on both ends?
As you guys know that we, this is, we just started. This is probably the second game we actually played together, everybody. So, we still trying to figure out rhythm. Everybody we trying to kind of get to know, kind of thing. We had a lot of practices, but we had also in the game. Somebody was out, somebody's in. So, especially against the Golden State, they've been playing together for probably 4 or 5 years together. So, I think that was the difference. Other than that, I think we did a lot of things that we're supposed to do, and it's a process. We're gonna be better.
This might be along those same lines, but what can get better in the third quarters, and I guess not just preseason, but back to last year as well?
I mean, we talk about it's been like this probably since I got here too. It's something that we have been problem with. The third quarter. I think it's the mind thing. We got locked in. As a team, we have to be ready to play basketball. From the start, third quarter, it's just. I think as a team we have to lock in. We might have to meet, with the players and then kind of talk before the game or something like that. I mean, before the third quarter or something. So and then we can figure it out.